system. They probably make software which we use as people who work in a creative industry. Other than the operating system, I think the software they make probably consume most of our time. We spend most of our day with their products. So the software industry. Here's talk a little bit about their market. It's $303.8 billion. That's the data from 2008.
So it's 5-year-old data.
Yes.
And so we want to try and improve that.
Okay.
Get that a little newer. And remember, talk to us. Don't read us the slides. Tell us what you know about the industry. And if you need to read them, go ahead but tell us the story about what's happening.
What's happening
in the software industry and where they sit in the industry.
It's
go ahead.
there in the slides.
Yes. I'm just saying, don't read us the slides. This is why we're communicating.
Okay. So we can see here, there's the comparison between these giants, the software giants, Microsoft, Apple, and Adobe. Adobe is still, compared to the other two, it's smaller market cap. But it's interesting to see that these two, they make the operating systems. I think the overlapping area between Apple and Adobe is Apple has this product, this is for sound editing and video editing and photo editing, and this one is for creating motion graphics. But Microsoft, they don't have creative products. So there's the other companies who makes softwares, IBM, Oracle, and SAP. They're leading. They're also the leaders in the industry.
I mean, Adobe is at $8 billion. Where was Adobe?
Adobe is 23, I think. 28.
28, and go back to those.
So that would come.
Okay, so you're looking the wrong numbers. So market capitalization is 28. Here. So they're just in between, just below SAP.
Yes.
Or significantly below SAP. Okay.
So, yeah, of course, Adobe, their target market is for the people who works in the creative fields. So they target the marketing departments of companies.
Okay. What is our class about?
Distribution
of
media.
And what is one of the major formats that content is distributed in, or media is distributed in?
Major format, data.
And that data looks like what?
0.
But to you and me, what does it look like? It's right on that slide. Tell us what happened here. Don't gloss over. You wrote it. Tell us what's happening here.
Yeah, it's.
Do you know what happened? First of all, you wrote it. Do you understand what happened?
So it's targeting a bigger group.
But do you know why? Okay. So you wrote here, Adobe lost a high-profile battle with Apple Incorporated co-founder Steve Jobs over video technology. Okay.
It's the Flash.
Correct. They were trying and building their business on Flash technology. HTML5 supports an international open standard called H.264. All of these cameras are recording. I'm sorry?
Web standard.
No, it's a global television standard too. H.264 can do high definition television. It's not just for web. So they can do H.264 has a profile all the way up to 24p HD, all the way down to telephone. So the same physical format with different profiles can be distributed to all kinds of different devices. This is huge for an internet company because it's an international standard, and now it's an alternative to Adobe Flash. Okay? So when they lost the battle to try and get it onto the largest consumer devices, which were owned by Apple, the largest market share, they had to change their entire business strategy in the last year. That's huge. From the media perspective, we use their stuff to create it, but they were trying to get into that distribution stream.
They want to be the platform of carry this data of views.
Right, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't get, because of the licensing arrangements, they couldn't get into the world of Apple. So Flash doesn't play on your phone, but HTML5 and H.264 does. So now Apple has a competitive alternative to Flash, and they have such a strong market share that it forced Adobe to change their business model. Okay.
It seems like they're going more for the enterprise.
Now they're shifting towards the enterprise. So content creation is done in publishing, etc. All these tools, which were being used for media content creation, are now finding a secondary market as well in the enterprise. Right? So now they're focusing on what you said in your paragraph here. They're overhauling their business for the creative suite and getting into, etc., the marketing department.
Yeah, they want to be the one solution for the marketing department, once for all.
Good. Good. It's important you understand that, because video was at the core of the battle. Content distribution over video was the battle up until last year, and
there was this whole debate on which way to go, more open or flat.
Exactly.
And the key strategy now is for them for providing this softwares into their customers' hands. Adobe is taking the strategy of using cloud technology. So they're moving all their products onto the cloud, which gives them the benefit of rolling out new versions more often and more easier updates for customers.
And what else does it do on the financial side?
No physical copy.
Exactly.
You don't have to make.
So when you create a boxed piece of software and you manufacture it and distribute it through stores,
there's transportation, and you have to hire sales,
and shipping boxes. And now if I can just deliver it on the internet, I no longer have to ship anything. So what you're telling me, in May 2013, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, they stopped. Their intention is to stop selling box software.
Right. They announced their decision of closing this route of distribute their products.
So now you only get it online under subscription.
Right.
Which also opens up a huge market, because do you know how much the Adobe Creative Suite is today?
The flagship product.
Yeah, their box. If you buy the Creative Suite today, do you know how much it costs?
It's $8,000.
Around $8,000 for the entire suite of software. Okay, and now in the cloud versions, what do they allow you to do?
There are different accounts you can set up. It basically give you bundles of multiple users or single users for business account.
And is it $8,000?
No, it's around $30. So.
Yeah, because you're renting access to the software.
But it's $30 a month, and you have to get a year worth.
Yeah, you can pay as you go, like monthly.
Yeah, but you can't pay for a month. You have to pay for a year. You just pay monthly, which is I mean, in my mind, it's a huge bad model. Because
Yeah.
if they gave it to me for a month, I would get it. For a year, not so much.
Or you have to sign that for you.
You have to basically pay every month, but for years.
It's a year contract.
Yeah.
It's a year contract. So
So
basically, they're looking at $300. If it's $30 a month, $360 per subscriber per year for their software for access that continues year after year after year after year. As long as you use creative software. That's the only way you're going to, in the next 5 years, they're making the transition now,
Mm-hmm.
but in the next 5 years, you're only going to be able to access Adobe software license keys. It's going to be a file download most likely, but you're only going to be able to distribute it through a subscription model with a key that expires after 12 months.
That's where they met their criticism is for individual users. If I'm just a photographer and I'm not gonna pay, like it's easier. I brought it once and then I update each time. So.
Oh, wait a minute. So there's some big issues here. So where have we seen the second half? Where have we seen so far the shift from physical packaging to online distribution? Every media industry that we've talked about so far is eliminating physical packaging. The music industry, video games, now even software, the physical packaging is disappearing because of internet connectivity. Okay? We also talked about two different types of distribution models. We talked about file download and streaming. Both are handled in the cloud by different server technologies. Okay? This looks like it's a file download model, but they've done something here which is interesting, is they changed their file format. So if you own the software today, Creative Suite 10 or whatever version, what's the current version? Creative Suite what? 6? And you go to the subscription model, the subscription files are not compatible with the software. So you have to use the subscription in order to access your files again, according to this commentary. Now, that's a huge issue. I'd like to actually talk to somebody about.
I think Adobe is just a good example of a company that does not care about their customers. And this is just another way they show. They know that they have the technology, no one else can compete, and they just couldn't care less what the customer thinks. Really?
Yeah, I read
The CEO
it.
is just the person that shows that. He doesn't care about his employees. He's known for being a bad CEO.
I read some comments on this. They're known for a bad customer service, actually.
Bad culture in the company, they just don't care what the customers think.
Although
Interesting. Okay.
their stocks are doing great.
So they make a lot of profit.
They have the technology.
Yeah.
So the cloud was hacked recently. There was the user's passwords got leaked and all kinds of issues. But still, you look at their stock. It's they're doing okay. On the money side.
Okay. So again, tell us the story about what happened in the hack. You got a nice graphic here, and yes, their stock price is going up, but their source code was stolen.
I don't know the follow-up story on the stolen source code.
That's huge. The source code for Adobe Photoshop, if that was in fact in the cloud,
I can dig a little deeper.
that would scare the pants out of me if I was the CEO of Adobe and my key software source code got copied into the internet.
Right. I don't
That
know
stock price.
the follow-up story, but.
Yeah, follow-up story.
But I remember I received an email from them that asked me to change the password during the time.
Well, there are a lot of companies that have security issues where password gets hacked and the credit card information. We've seen this on the news a lot, right? With different companies it's happened. This is the first time I've seen that the source code to their key product has been stolen.
Maybe they caught him then. Maybe they caught him accurately.
Even if they did, once it's in zeros and ones, it's unlimited copies around the world.
Okay. Yeah, I can
So now we're talking about, remember we said all information is digital, it's all zeros and ones, perfect copies from point A to point B, no degradation.
But what's the difference? I mean, everyone downloads it after you know there's so many, like no one here.
Not everybody, otherwise they wouldn't be making, how many
They make
billions?
your money on the enterprise.
Yeah, they
make
don't make
more or
money on
less.
individuals.
So who cares?
Do you have a breakdown of where their revenue is by product?
No, I'll make a note. It would be interesting to see the actual individuals who spend that much.
Yeah, we need to look at the revenue, but it's one thing to have a bootleg version of software. It's another thing to have your source code hacked.
Source code is useless. There are tens of millions of lines of code, nobody can read it. And for example,
Until it's compiled as a distributable product.
Well, for example, I worked for Oracle for years, and like tens of thousands of people can access Oracle's source code, but you cannot make use of it because if you install it, nobody will support you. So basically, you're exposed to tons of bugs. So the support and the bug fixing is indeed the value of the product.
Yes.
Also,
And if I take version 6 source code, which is feature complete and product release, and I compile it, and I make an installer of it, and I charge nothing for it, and I distribute it over the internet, I don't offer support, and I give it away for free, what does that do to the retail box set?
there already are tons of the parents copies out there.
Yeah.
So basically, even if you have the source code, you cannot fix the bugs of it.
You cannot what?
You can't fix bugs.
I don't want to fix the bugs. I just want to get the copy out for free. It's not useless. It's a
Yeah.
working version of version 6 that's shipped.
But
There are
that's
already
true,
working
like
versions of the pirates copies. And also, the password is also not that sound dramatically.
No, the password's not that big a deal.
Yeah,
To me, it's giving away their source code is their value. If you go to sell the company, what do they exchange?
Yeah,
The
unless
buildings?
you can build something on that source code, right?
Okay, the source code needs one more step. It's called compiling. After the source code is compiled, it's a product.
Yeah, that's fine, but you cannot sell it.
But I can give it
But
away.
There's so much piracy as it
it's
is.
already
It
like so
couldn't
much
be their
piracy.
value.
I don't think that's
If that was their value, then they would have lost money. Because
Any software company is based on their product.
No, it's got to be something else. It's the product, but
Yeah.
it's who they sell it to. And my assumption, knowing nothing, is that it's probably enterprise, and those customers are valuable.
Mhm.
Because if it was piracy, we all have it anyways, and everyone around the world can get it pretty easily. No one's gonna pay $8,000 for it. We're not the customers, and people that hack that, they're not the customers either. So it's got to be the enterprises who are willing to pay. And every time that these guys update their product, they want to make sure everything is updating,
Mhm.
right? It's like you're not going to get a pirate. If you're Oracle, you're not going to get a pirate version of this. You're going to
No.
buy it from
Exactly.
them, and that's the money. So I don't know.
So you're saying that they don't care about the consumer market at all,
No.
and they're only worried about.
If they did, they would change their business model. Now that they have it online, why not license it for a month? Because we're here, I was going to use it for a month if they let me, but no, you have to commit for a year and pay like $500 for a year. Why would I do that? Like, they're not thinking about me, that's for sure.
Interesting. Okay, good.
They're not even thinking about students, by the way. Even their student deal is ridiculous. It's just too expensive. They're thinking about the universities, maybe, but not the student.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the source code is not that hard to get.
Okay. Go ahead, Jason.
For all the companies.
That's good to know.
So just remember to tell us the story about what you're seeing here. You're pulling up a lot of facts.
okay.
And remember to, what does this mean? Is it a risk? Is it a good thing? Is it the direction they're going? So they've changed their business models. Their core intellectual property is now distributed freely over the internet. They're changing their market, going for enterprise customers, and they're known for bad customer service. Et cetera, et cetera. But they're still making a profit, and they're going in a different direction. So what is that? Leaves opportunity for a potential competitor like Apple and the Apple Motion products and the audio products, etc. that they're running against. So there's some threat actually emerging, and it's following the same model as audio and video And games and all the other types of content distribution that we've been talking about, where it's going back online, it's becoming a subscription model, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a very interesting change to see all of these industries aligning together. Okay, go ahead. What else do you have?
So profile. They're across the street.
Yeah, they're across the street, literally.
And its revenue 2012. It's the net income. 2012. Here's the stock over the last 5 years. It's hard to see, but we look at the.
There you go.
It's the revenue growth over the years.
Okay, so in 2012, the 3 months, so in the last quarter, they did.
Well, this is a 10K.
Yeah, so they did 8 to 2 in products. 850 million to 200 million on subscription. So about 20% of their money is already coming from subscription services. Support is adding another 100 million. R&D, sales and marketing, general administration, non-operating expenses. Okay, so the question I'd like to see is, can you find a breakdown by product to see where what their product suite looks like? So go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt at this point, but this is good information too.
Okay, by products, breakdown by product. I'll look it up later. So.
Okay, this is what I wanted to see.
It's the trend. It's from Creative Suite moving to Creative Cloud. And, used to bundle their products as the here's a break here. Design standard and design web premium, production premium, master collection, and now it's Creative Cloud. So distribute the products. So this is a closer look at their products. Acrobat family. It's application to view, create, manipulate, print, manage files in the PDF format. And there is a competitor is a smaller, much smaller company. They make this software called Intro.
Okay, Nitro.
So
Now, PDF format is for what type of document?
for portable document.
What's inside of it?
It's text. Text
Text and graphic.
and there is a little bit of interaction. You can have links, hyperlinks.
Yeah, hyperlinks, but mostly it's a text and graphic format. It's a container holding text and graphic
Right.
that can be distributed over the internet or used to normalize print work. And they own that market. They own the print market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the Flash family used to be the number one tool to create a rich interaction. But now it's slowly losing to the new technology of HTML5 and CSS3 and JavaScript.
Right. And you might add to that line H.264 video, which is the one that they lost the battle with Apple over. Okay, HTML5 is the standard, CSS3 is the markup standard, JavaScript is the control standard, and H.264 or MPEG-4 is the video standard. So all of those together make up what Flash used to do.
I remember the last last week one of the presentations on the game platform. What is it called?
Gaikai.
Well, what is it playing off of?
H.264.
So it's nothing has nothing to do with Flash.
Nope.
Okay.
It uses H.264 video streaming to any device that can decode video. And it uses JavaScript to send back the control information.
Okay. So Flash is dying probably. Oh wait. There's some more. The Photoshop family. There is some alternative to Photoshop. Pixlr, it's a free online. It's completely a browser-based application. It's free. Yeah, and it claims to be the most popular online photo editor. And Appster is from Apple. It has similar features, but it lacks the features of animation, 3D, and creating web graphics. There's GIMP. GIMP is free and is open source, and it can be installed on all of the operating systems.
Has anybody in here used any of these alternatives to Photoshop? Which one?
G.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. And it's free.
Okay. I don't like it personally. I find the user experience to lack quite a bit, but it is a free competitor that's very strong as an alternative. Okay.
And the Premiere family is a timeline-based video editing software. And according to Mashable, a blog, a popular technology blog, that the number one popular video editing software is, it's called, I never used this, but they made it number one.
Based on what? Sales? Based on feature set? Based on their personal preference of what they liked from PC tools?
I think it's user experience and user friendly, and
Okay.
but I guess it's not based on the professional level.
Yeah, it's not. It's on the consumer level.
Right.
Right. Now, the two that they're fighting with, AVS is Avid Video Suite, and Final Cut Pro are the two standards in film and television.
Which two are?
Final Cut Pro and AVS, Avid.
Okay.
Okay, so they're not even into the enterprise space for television production.
Oh, this two is not.
Those two are.
Are.
They dominate it.
Okay.
And Premiere and the other ones are in the secondary markets, the small to medium-sized business markets, much more. So just so you understand the landscape.
And Shockwave, I know so little about this. I think it's similar to Flash, but we don't see this anywhere anymore. And as Flash is fading away, that Adobe come up with this new family, the Edge family. It's similar to the Flash application. Is to create interactive content and animations with the HTML5 and CSS3 technology. Yeah, this is the tools that you use to create interactive content based on the HTML5 technology.
I didn't know they had a strategy specific for HTML5 and beyond. That's very good to see.
So, and then there's a whole bunch of other tools.
Well, they have a lot of product. So all your enterprise products are down there at the bottom. So these are all the, so if you drag down, So After Effects is the one that's used in film and television, and for basically like Apple Motion. Audition is their audio product. Bridge is their
Content, the
asset management product. And then when you start getting into the content server, those are all server-side components for back-end distributing content and go down. And so this is starting to get into the enterprise. Dreamweaver is the web development tool. Encore. FrameMaker was their page layout tool. Illustrator is their illustration tool and graphic design tool. InDesign, there's page layout. And then Omniture is the one they just bought, which is data analytics. Now they're getting into developing code on the server side for corporations to handle asset management, etc. So you can start to see just from their products where they went, where they invested, where they're going. So that might be a different way to break this chart up instead of just listing them. Let's look at where they started, where they are today, and what are the newest directions of product that they've purchased. What directions they're going.
Right. There's more content I want to add to. Let's bring to the last. I want to look back on how they started with so many products. So it's interesting that the first thing that they ever did was with a font. It's this PostScript, and it's like 30, 40 years ago. That's almost like as old as computer, and then this font. If you think about it, it's a vector image, so it makes sense that they come up with the Illustrator next, and then it's not until 1989 they come up with Photoshop, and I want to add to this timeline. Following is in 1993 they introduced a PDF Acrobat, and Premiere was released in 1991.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah,
I think that's your story.
I want to just finish this timeline.
I think that'll be your story, and you can look at all the different products, see where they were, see how they're changing, when they're eliminating these, moving them onto the cloud. I think you could tell most of what your story is so far with the timeline. Most of what you've communicated so far could have been told with a very good timeline. Okay. Go ahead.
That's it. That's the end.
Okay, any questions? Now, do we understand why we put a software company in a content distribution class now? Does anybody not understand how it's parallel and similar, and it is a form of content? It's application interactive content the same way a video game is application interactive content, only you have more input and the output you get to save. But it's still a form of engagement in software.
As the software itself is distributed on the cloud in 1010.
Yeah, exactly, in binary format. Good.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Jason.